What's up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday Night's Live Intuitive Oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. Let's see who's here already. I did forget to share out, but maybe I'll do it in a little bit. We've got the Ghost Dragons, Black Dragon. Oh, thank you very much, Black Dragon. He says, if I don't make it, I will send much love, respect, and bacon. As long as you bring that bacon, we're good. Bat Mom, thanks for stopping in. Blue Crossroads, and we are live. Absolutely. It's been one heck of a week, but not complaining. That's for sure. I'm going to bring in Ghosty. I am ready to get started, but I guess we'll let a few more people trickle in before we do that and just kind of take it from there. See what we got going on tonight. Hey, Roger, what's up? How are you? What's up, Smoochy girl? Actually, Smoochy, it's funny you say that. It's been like that for the past few months, but they did change it randomly without even letting us know. It was just like one day it was that. I kind of like the old one better, but whatever. There he is, Ghost Dragons.
As you just throw me out in the middle of nowhere with no word, no warning, no nothing.
It doesn't even like occur to me to like make sure you're ready. I'm just like, let's go.
I just write names down. So, hello, Mr. Roger, Smoochy, Blue, Fat Mom, the world.
I've got to tell you guys, and I'll probably mention it again later. Not for the past year or so, but before that, for years, I was terrified to read any comments. I never went to the comments of my videos or the shorts. If I happened to see them, I would look at them and respond. But for the most part, I did not even look at comments because I couldn't handle all of the negativity, all of the just cruelty and abuse. But the past, I would say 8 months to a year, I've been going through them. I check comments multiple times a day now because I just don't care anymore. And I've kind of become numb to it. So I'm getting a lot of old comments from you guys and even from people I feel bad I didn't answer because they probably could have been new and maybe we would have made connections. But I just wasn't checking them. And I wasn't checking them due to fear, to be honest with you. Now, a lot of them were pretty cruel, horrible, but a lot of them were really supportive. And I put out a short yesterday where I was talking about getting so much support on TikTok. I think a lot of people took that the wrong way. Huh?
Oh, no, I just realized my shirt. I've lost so much weight. My shirts are getting big.
I think a lot of people took that the wrong way because I was talking about new people. So I kept talking about like the people that don't know me on TikTok. 99% of the time are super positive, and the people that don't know me on YouTube are cruel and bullies and mean. So when I was saying I don't get as much support from the YouTube community, I wasn't talking about you guys, the people who support me and who help out, right? I was talking about the people who come across my shorts. They see that 10-second clip of me, watch 2 seconds of it, and decide that they're going to, say all of these nasty things to me. It happens a lot less on TikTok. I wasn't saying that I have no support at all on YouTube, but I think maybe I might have presented it wrong because I know some people were like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, I didn't mean it in the way a lot of people are taking it. I'm just growing a lot faster over there, and there's a lot less hatred. For the most part. I mean, I have my moments over there too, which have nothing to do with my content because over here I do the pre-recorded long form weekly videos. They take up a lot of my time, but over there it's just skits and lip syncing and maybe telling a story about something that I did throughout my day. But it's not as personal as over here because I haven't even live streamed over there yet. So I noticed yesterday, though, I did make a comment underneath someone else's post about something going viral right now. And I guess my opinion was, I was on the wrong side of TikTok. And they just started coming for me with screenshots of what I said as though it were somehow going to be this expose of like who I really am. because I said not everyone's beautiful on the outside, and not everyone lives in that reality where they're going to go along with that, because we have to focus, and that's why we should focus more on inner beauty and not what people look like on the outside. So I was called a racist, a white supremacist,
And those are your people that are ugly on the inside.
A mean girl who never grew up. You know, it was just crazy to me, because I'm like, I've merely stated facts. But again, like, it depends what you look like is what you're allowed to say. You know, if I didn't look like this, I could have said that without any issues. And like, that's what gets me about social media. But my point is, I did not mean it that I don't get support over here. I met new people who come across my shorts, my content. For 10 seconds, they make this judgment and they go all in. They hold nothing back. They're incredibly cruel. I didn't check comments for 3.5 years at all, because I was so afraid of what people were going to say. Yeah, snowflakes. And I just can't handle it anymore. And I just, you know, I'm just not going to be quiet anymore. I'm not going to bring it to my content. But if I'm, you know, I'm like anybody else. I scroll through other people's stuff. I scroll through random TikToks and YouTube shorts. And if I come across something I disagree with, I say something. I try not to bully people or say intentionally mean things, but I guess that came off wrong. I don't care.
They can come off wrong. They just took it wrong.
They can post as many screenshots as they want of me saying that. It's just simply stating facts. I'm not, you know, afraid of them. What's up, girl in her gong? So why don't we just get started? Again, I didn't share out. Maybe I'll do that in a little bit and see who we can pull in, and hopefully we get some more people. And yeah, I was working on this really interesting case today that I'm going to do, and either not this coming Tuesday, but the following or the week after, where it's I've never heard of it before. The lady's name is Madge Knight with a K. She like got drunk, got into an argument with her husband. Her sister and brother-in-law lived in a house with her. And when she went to bed that night, she woke up in the middle of the night screaming at the top of her lungs. Her sister came in to see what was going on. She had chemical burns going all down her back. Her skin had peeled away. There were no chemicals in the house. There were no chemicals found anywhere near her body. There was no fire. Nothing else was burned, including the clothes that she was wearing. Very, very strange case, still unsolved. And it's labeled in the community as a case of spontaneous human combustion, because she did die from an infection from bacteria in her blood that got in the wounds. So she died as a direct result from these burns, but nobody knows how she got them. I don't know if it's spiritual, paranormal, if it's something biological. I wonder if
there was strange activity with her beforehand.
Well, that's what I said, not to give it all away, but I said I can't even make an educated guess because I know nothing about this woman except the night of when everything happened. There's no backstory. There's no history. Another very strange thing is that her sister and brother-in-law came running into the room to see what was going on with her. And the brother-in-law is like, oh, you have crazy burns on your back and you're in terrible pain. I'm going back to bed. And the husband who slept in the room next to her never woke up at all. Nobody went and got the husband. The sister gave her like some pain medication and went back to bed herself. And they didn't call the doctor until the next morning. Girl, it's crazy. Girl, guy, it's crazy.
This one. Holy crap.
Yeah, I never heard of it before. And I was like, oh my gosh. We're also going to be talking about Greta Strasberg and Trevor Dealey. We're going to be talking about soul walk-ins. I have 21 extra scripts like that I've already worked on. That way, you know, sometimes I'd be like, I didn't have time this week to write one. That's not happening anymore because in every little spare time that I have, I am writing to get these cases out to you guys. Things are going a lot better. They're not as great as I'd like them to be, obviously, but they're going so much better since I took New England Dirt Roadie's suggestion of putting the pre-recorded videos out at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday instead of 11 a.m. Monday. Smoochie, that is kind of where I'm leaning, that it sounds like an abduction, but without there's no context at all. It's just, it was this night in November of 1943 or 1946. This is what happened. She died. Nobody was ever charged. The police never thought anyone was suspicious enough. And that's it. That is the absolute end. All right, guys, let's jump in here. I think I've rambled quite enough. If you like my new shirt, the dragon, I got 2. Ghost Dragon sent me today completely as a surprise, and it did cheer me up. And I love these types of shirts, and I love my dragons. So thank you, sir. I do appreciate them. And I'll be wearing the black one more than likely in the upload for next Tuesday, because I already have this Tuesday's filmed. I'm meeting. What's up, Heather? So good to see you. I'm meeting with Arisha on Sunday, and I'm super excited. We're just going to go for coffee, maybe lunch. Smoochie, that's a different channel, honey. Maybe lunch, Starbucks, coffee. I'm meeting her in Princeton, New Jersey, because that's an hour or halfway. I can't say an hour, but it's a halfway for me and halfway for her. She's very far from where I live, several hours away. So halfway point is Princeton. So I'm excited about that, to get to meet her in person. And yeah, okay, let's get started.
Blues first.
Sir Blue. Blue, I'm going to use shadows and light. You always make me laugh, Smoochie. Strangely lonely. Holding on way too tight. Card number 17. This sweet and defiant being holds fast to her Celtic cross, clutching her belief system because without it, she's not sure who she truly is. Perhaps it was given to her by a beloved. Perhaps it represents her family, a loved one, or aspects of her soul. But the reason she holds on so tight is that she's lonely and has yet to connect with her soul family on a day-to-day basis. There are times in your life when you too may be surrounded by people, even those whom you call friends, but you still feel extremely lonely amid it all, as she does. You may feel like you need a barrier between yourself and the world, as she does. There's a sense that you feel too strongly your individuality and that you are lonely, as she is too. Strangely lonely speaks. You're holding so tightly to something that's proving to be a barrier between you and others, which is why you feel so alone at times. At present, you may need to open up just a little and admit that you crave like-minded people around you. This does not mean people who do the same things as a living for a living as you. It means people who speak to your soul. You're craving metaphysical and mysterious discussion, and you've got some questions that truly need answers, or at least more exploration. It's time to consult oracles, the ones we find when we seek out friends who tell us what they see, not what they think we wish to hear. And what you are likely to hear is that you have to let something go. Divination message. One dilemma with living in a world you feel you must protect is that you fear other people intruding on it, disturbing the delicate balance. So you hold on tighter to whatever you have or whatever you feel makes you you. The truth is your inner world is richer than most, and it's an imaginative paradise or hell, depending on your state of mind that day. When you receive this card, please let go just a little and notice how this gives you room to interact and engage with loving others, and this therefore helps you recreate your world anew. It is likely you will choose carefully who you allow in, but at least one person does need to be let in, and at least one security blanket needs to be shown the door, even if it's just for right now. So, Blue, what I'm seeing is a little bit different from the card's message, but not much. What I'm seeing here is it's not that you're holding on too tightly to something in like a smothering way. I feel though like something that you're aspiring to or something you're working on. I'm just going to use a romantic relationship as an example. I'm not saying that's what it is, but let's use that as an example because it'll be easiest for me to explain it that way. You are in a romantic relationship and you're really, really wanting to take it to the next level, but for some reason, whether it's fate, destiny, distance, whatever the reason or reasons are, you simply can't right now. That's fine. The universe is like, go for what you want. You know, if everyone's on the same page, this is a really great thing for you, but don't focus so much on it that you start not spending time with other people or not doing the things you want to do. You know, there should be no fear if there's actual love, right? If you're confident and secure, for in this case, just for the example, for love, if you're confident in that, then you should be able to live freely and do the things you want to do the things you aspire to do, and express yourself freely. If there's any fear involved here, I would say put it out on the table, out in the open, even if you've already done so, just because you feel you need to. And someone that loves you and cares about you, romantic or not, should understand that. You should have no problem, not you, but like a person should have no problem reassuring the person they love and care about. I mean, sometimes it does get like, if you need to reassure someone 50 times a day when you're doing all the right things, I mean, that can be problematic, but you don't strike me as that kind of guy. I also see this as you're worrying about, and I'm just going to come out and say it, in some areas of your life, I feel like you're either worrying too much about or leaning too much into what you think Shauna would think or feel about it, which is perfectly normal and perfectly natural. But don't allow that curiosity to stunt what you're doing and cause procrastination. At the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions based on how you're guided by spirit. And she is one of your guides now. Not officially, but she like steps in when necessary. She steps in when it comes to the things you dream that you don't remember. And she works side by side with your main spirit guide. And she'll probably do this until she chooses to be reborn, which from what I can see is probably not for another 100 years or more, Earth years. So just, while it's okay to consider her, it's not okay to not make decisions based on what you think she might think, feel, want, or need. Come to someone like me or someone else that you trust that can speak to her or conjure her, or channel her, and ask plainly and see what answer you get. Exactly, Smoochy girl. Who's next?
The girl in the gong, in her gong.
Girl gong. I'm going to use Dylan. Wait. The girl in her gong, thank you so much for stopping in again. I love that you're a regular now. I love when that happens, and I hope you feel welcome and, you know, feel the light as you fit right in with us, and I just think that's so tremendous. Divine Empathic, what's up, girl? I've been watching your TikToks. You are amazing. You have amazing talent. Mark Holstead, what's up, sweetheart? Hope you're feeling well. Ooh, okay, the girl in her gong. I want to call you girl gong, but I feel like that's offensive. Just let me know if that works for you. You got card number 22, the wolf. I am the wild wolf standing before a full moon. I often appear in fairy tales, though my appearance is feared most of the time. They say I'm cruel, hungry, and merciless. They say I eat little pigs, little boys, little girls, and grandmothers too. They say I hide in the forest with my gleaming fangs and voracious appetite. But it's all a legend. I'm actually much nobler, sweeter, and more inspiring than what everyone is saying about me. I'm here to tell you that your inner wilderness needs to be heard and it needs to be unleashed. Stop being reasonable, tidy, careful. I got you, girl. Go through the forest, bay at the moon, dig your claws into the ground and show your fangs. Run, growl, bark. The time has come, Maureen, to be wild. Your soul belongs to the night and to the moon. The wolf within you wants to be released and to act freely. So listen to this call and unchain your inner wolf. I feel like you have been far too silent for far too long. What's up, Nut Slap? I don't know, Smoochy girl. You definitely have been quiet about something for way too long, or you've been putting something off to kind of either protect someone else's feelings or I'll give you an example, and this is probably not you, but listen to the example and take it as it resonates. I know someone who's on social media, and no matter how badly she knows content about her life up to this point will get so many views. She'll probably go viral several times. I mean, she has lived a crazy life. But she knows that her husband would not approve. So she continues on slowly growing and not ever talking about any of that stuff, even though she knows that she could make it so much quicker if she were to do that type of content. That's the energy I'm getting from this. It's like you're holding back, not just to protect someone else's feelings, but it's like kind of to protect yourself from what other people or another person, what they've got to say about it, what they think about it, how they feel about it, right? And the universe is saying it's great to be considerate of people. And it's really sweet and kind and nice to, in some cases, not all the time, to put others before yourself and to put other people's wants and needs before your own. But now is not the time for that, Maureen. Now is finally the time for you to get out there and do and say exactly what you want or feel the need to, like now. In the next couple of weeks, if you get flack or pushback from somebody, that's fine. Deal with it as it comes, or tell them to mind their business and don't deal with it all. Depends on who the person is and what role they play in your life. But the idea of you not pursuing some goal or achieving some dream or saying what you really truly think and feel so that someone else doesn't get upset, like, girl, no, we are not in high school anymore. We don't have to worry about our parents. You know, maybe some of us worry about our parents being angry. I don't ever want my mom's wrath, but you know what I mean, right? It's like, we're beyond that now. In the next couple of weeks, I do feel like you're going to have some kind of opportunity, whether it be, what's up, Urso, whether it be small or huge, where your immediate thought is going to be like, oh my God, I want to do that so bad. But then as usual, it's going to come in, well, so-and-so is not going to like that. And you're actually considering not doing whatever this is or saying it. You could be, like I was just talking about, scrolling through social media and you want so badly to give your opinion about something. It could literally be something that's small that is such a big deal right now energetically in your life and you don't even realize it. But the universe is like, say what you mean. As long as you mean what you say, you should not be dimming your light or hiding yourself to make anyone else feel good or to avoid someone else's nonsense. Also, I do feel like you should ground yourself under the light of the moon. Go out at night when the moon's out. It doesn't matter if it's, I don't know the phases by heart. I'm going to be honest with you. It doesn't matter if it's like the newest moon there is or a full moon. Go out under the light of the moon. The fuller, the better. And pantomime bathing yourself, like taking a shower, washing yourself under the moonlight. Okay. And keep your feet bare and connected to the dirt at all times while you're doing this. Listen to the wind. I know it sounds silly to some people, but these types of things really can change our energy and shift our vibration temporarily. But this temporary shift in vibration is going to be enough for you to finally say, you know what, if so-and-so doesn't like this, I'll deal with that when that time comes. But I am taking this opportunity, or I am saying how I feel, or I am speaking out against this or for this, those types of things. 8, 9. Get out there and ground on the 9th, and maybe some more of whatever this is about will come to you. Do not dim yourself or silence yourself. Really? And don't turn down opportunities that are important to you out of any sort of fear, whether it's fear of what someone else is going to think they want you to feel, or whether you're afraid of success or failure or whatever the case may be. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever could. All right. And I want you to keep that in mind in the next couple of weeks. I feel like it's going to be a very important message for you.
Nope, Heather. In fact, you're next, dear.
I just started, sweetie.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Heather. I'm going to use Mythical Goddess. Hey, Life with Bobby. Oh, Smoochie, I try. You're very welcome. Thank you. All right, Miss Heather. The 4 of Wind, the card of Patience. Jupiter in Libra, the deep peace of patience radiates from this woman with child. Her inner calm and knowing is earned by her internal alignment with Source. She's open to she's open to receive the flow of stellar supports always present. She shows that through perfect patience, the way is clear and illuminated, and all is coming in its perfect time. As you allow your patient, receptive mind to come to center, you open the channels for all that you desire to come to you when appropriate for your greatest joy and fulfillment. Hey, Ron, what's up? Mark, I have it over here. Let me do Heather's reading and I can pull it out really quick. Thank you for reminding me because I did forget, but I did pull it out. So Heather, I feel like you're running out of patience or you ran out of patience a while ago in a certain situation. This isn't anything toxic though. It's like you've been working really hard, working towards something, trying to gain, obtain, or achieve something. And it's like, oh, you know, you just have to do these last 3 things and then you got this. And then you do those last 3 things. And then it's like, oh, actually, you had 5 things to do. So then you do those. It's like the bar keeps moving for some reason. The goalpost keeps moving. The universe is saying this is happening for a reason because not everything and everyone is aligned yet for you to be able to accomplish whatever this is. You still have a big lesson to learn. It's not that this won't happen. It's not that you can't achieve whatever this is, you know, in the coming few months. It's that it's going to take much longer if you don't focus on learning some kind of lesson. What I'm seeing, it's a little confusing, so just bear with me while I take it all in. It's like you're doing so great over here, putting all this work in, you're succeeding and you're trying your best and you're doing everything you're supposed to do. You're totally focused. You're accomplishing your goals. You are, you know, success. That's what I see over here. But then it's like there's this other issue that you just don't want to deal with anymore. So you deal with it as little as possible, which is what spirit and the universe has been telling you for months now, to just emotionally disconnect and focus on doing you. The time for you not to emotionally reconnect, but to try to do something about whatever this situation is has come. Again, this doesn't mean if there's any kind of abusive situation going on that you just leave. This is diving back into whatever this relationship or situation is and understanding the lessons you've learned from it so far. Even if you have to write them down, understanding to your core all the ways you've changed for the better, despite all the pain you've gone through, possibly even I heard the word torment that you've gone through with this person and or these people. And once you really have a grasp on that, and you will start moving forward and receiving more opportunities and becoming more successful in this other area you're focused on. Again, this isn't about emotionally reconnecting and becoming embroiled back in some abusive relationship or, you know, terrible dynamic with your boss that you've disengaged from. It's simply about, I almost want to say exposing, but because it's like clarifying to yourself that you need to be away from this person, this place, this thing, out of this situation. There's a part of you that needs to know that 100%, even though in here you already do. And in your instinct, you already do. I feel like your heart in this case is what's holding you back. For the next couple of weeks, again, it's not about throwing yourself into it. I don't ever want to see you that unhappy or going through that ever again. But every once in a while, stop back in and engage with this person. Say what you really feel. Stand up for yourself. Set and enforce your boundaries instead of just ignoring, because you are going to very quickly get the reminder you need and the confirmation you need that this situation is never going to change. Once you finally fully accept that, even if you feel like you really do, there is a part of you that doesn't, or this wouldn't be coming up. I would say if you do this in the next couple of weeks, I don't think it's going to take long for you to be convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that whatever this is no good, or whoever. Once you do that, I could see within a week or two, all of the success you've been striving for and dreaming about and working towards and earning up to this point is going to be like thrown at you tenfold. Opportunities maybe you haven't even imagined until 5 years down the line, they're suddenly coming to you right now. You're skipping steps on your way to advancement because you've now understood the lessons that you've learned through this incredibly toxic scenario. I hope that makes sense. Who's next?
Next is Divine. Divine, you still here, right?
She should still be here. Divine, I'm going to use Celebrity Spirit. So the deck I have isn't necessarily a Squatch or cryptid deck, but it does have several cryptids in it. Okay, so I just want to make that clear, but I'll pull it out. I've used it before, and actually the first time I ever used it was years ago, like the day after I got it. I got it for my 40th birthday from my mom, and you're welcome, Heather. And the first card I ever pulled was for Smoochie, and I pulled the Sasquatch. I'll never forget that. Whitney Houston, aim high, sister. Card number 18. Her archetype was creator, also diva, siren, and virtuoso. Whitney Elizabeth Houston from New Jersey was an African-American mezzo-soprano born on the 9th of August, 1963, and died on the 11th of February, 2012 of an accidental drowning and heart disease due to substance abuse. She was Leo. She was cited as the most awarded female artist of all time by the Guinness Book of World Records and still remains one of the most successful artists of all time with 200 million records sold worldwide. She broke the barrier for women of color in the music industry. She was the ultimate diva and was not only an incredible singer, but an accomplished actress as well. Whitney was starting to make a comeback and was getting her life in order, but unfortunately, due to her drug habit and difficult toxic relationships, she died. The message: I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. When Whitney came into the seance, she had a big persona and a very strong personality. She spoke very slowly and told everyone how she loved singing with passion, the same way she loved people in her life. She was also what I would describe as religious, liked to live life in her own way, and was devoted to everything that she did. Whitney went to extreme lengths to push herself to the limit to her own detriment. She also said she loved being a mother. If you have chosen this card, Divine, you are being asked to align at a high level to your spiritual master purpose. It's time to let others see your inner divinity and powerful star force power and energy. Once you step out of the way and allow this, you have the ability to shine your light in whatever you do. You're a powerful, willful spark of co-creation brilliance, but you need to be wary of not over-consuming, whether it be drugs, alcohol, food, sex, and or love. You may also be addicted to work, sports, exercise, negative attitudes, and all kinds of thrills that give you that adrenaline rush. When you get this card, it's asking you to recognize when a habit, substance, relationship, or any expression of life has more authority than you give it credit for. There are many pitfalls in your life to take you away from your natural spirits and steer you off your path. Divine, it's time to focus and believe in your abilities and know that you can do anything. So already a theme is forming tonight of no longer putting our hopes and desires or our wants, dreams, needs, thoughts, feelings, etc. To the side to keep the peace or to make others happy. It's not wrong to make others happy or to maybe put others first sometimes, right? But when you're doing it all the time, or when you're constantly, like I said to, I think it was Maureen, when you're constantly thinking to yourself, oh, what's so-and-so's reaction to this going to be? You know, or what if I do this, what's so-and-so, or how is this part of my life going to be affected? And the universe is saying, Divine, you have overlooked a couple of opportunities in the last few months to really do something, to expand something you're trying to do. So whether this is your business, something you're trying to do online, really anything that's super important in your life that you put a lot of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into, you haven't even seen opportunities coming and going because you've been very distracted by some other area of your life. With this card, the universe is saying, don't put things on hold anymore, at least not in the next couple of months. There may come a time when you're able to be like, okay, I've come as far as I can go with this particular thing or with this particular person. So I'm going to take a little break for my mental health, right? In the next few months, do not do that. This is like, despite anything and everything happening and whatever is going on, you are still going to push forward in this one area. And you're not going to let anyone or anything take you down. As far as the addiction goes, I don't know that it's you. I feel like you could still be dealing with someone whose addiction is negatively affecting your life. No matter what the addiction is to, it doesn't always have to be drugs or alcohol. Could very well be, but doesn't have to be. And the universe is saying, first of all, when's enough enough? And second of all, in the next couple of weeks, if you're not careful, you are going to inadvertently be dragged into something having to do with this person or these people. And it could end up really ruining things for you in another area of your life. And if I were you, I'd be very careful that that's not this person or these people's intentions all along. So like bring drugs into your home and forget them there, like anyone ever forgets their drugs. And then call the cops on you and be like, she has drugs in the house with her daughter. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that type of energy. And I feel like this person or these people, whoever would do this to you, is someone you've given so much grace to, and someone you have put things on hold for, and someone you have kind of held back going full force against them, right? This is like someone who has a custody battle and this person has custody. And they know that the other person probably is not going to be a good full-time parent, but yet they don't talk about certain things. They don't talk maybe about the addiction because they don't want to make them look that bad, right? Because they know deep down inside they would be a good parent. It's that type of energy. Like you have sacrificed a lot for this person and they are looking for the opportunity to screw you over. So the best thing you could do, particularly in the next couple of weeks, is not allow, first of all, anyone that you know has any kind of mental issues or addiction problems into your home, into your life, and no more giving up everything or even anything for this person or in this situation. I'm going to pull myself out for a second so that I can grab that deck.
Okay. No sweat. There she goes. Will she ever come back? Nobody knows. You're welcome, Mark. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. But you're next. You're just in line. Glad you're doing okay. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. Yeah, my Wednesday night stream was kind of short. Kind of but we have those nights. But I hope everybody's having a good week. I'm hoping everybody has a good weekend. And like I said, Mark is next. Then Nut Slap, if you're still here, let me know. I know you're playing Fortnite. And then Bat Mom, Smoochie, Roger, Uso, Life with Bobby, and Riley. If nobody wants one, you need to let me know. Other than that, just let us know you're here when I call you. That's all I ask.
Okay. So it's the mythical creatures. I couldn't think of the name of it. Mark, is this the deck you want me to use? Divine, I'm glad you know what this is because it looks like it could end up being like really detrimental to something you're doing. And for no reason other than you've given someone the benefit of the doubt. I see you, Mark. Thank you.
I'm never good. Ask her.
Huh?
He asked if I was being a good dragon. I said, I'm never a good dragon. Ask her.
You're welcome, Divine. Thank you. Okay. Mark, you got the Myrmeco lion. It looks like a half lion, half ant. Let me just find it. Okay, so they do have reverse. And you got it in the reverse. Thank you, Ron, for coming in and hanging out. Feel free to do that anytime. All right. So the Myrmeco lion symbolizes a mistake, an accident, or a limitation. It's a creature of internal contradiction. Two parts of the same being are in conflict with one another. Normally, the frail Myrmeco lion dooms itself when its lion-like appetite consumes too much for its ant-like little body. In reverse, however, a potentially strong person dooms his or herself through fearfulness, perceiving himself or herself as ant-like. Thus, he or she deprives himself of pleasure and happiness, thinking that something bad will happen if he does something that benefits himself. Be advised, you are not half ant or half lion. It's okay to do something that benefits you. This is crazy that we are already on a theme, but not really. Mark, I don't know what this is referring to, but there's definitely something here. And I don't think it's just you. I feel like there's someone around you I don't know if I would say someone in your life. It could just be someone that you have to see, for example, at work every day, or your neighbor. It's someone like you kind of have to see, right? Thank you, Urso. I have not heard from anyone new yet, but I will keep my eye open. So my eye is open. It's like this person or these people are putting all of these thoughts in your head of what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, and all of the whys. And a case could be made for why any of us can't or shouldn't do anything, really. I mean, there's nothing that has only a positive side to it. There's always a downside to basically everything. I'm sure someone could think of something to prove me wrong, but you know what I mean. Mark, in the next couple of weeks, and Urso, I really do appreciate that. Thank you. It means so much to me to have new people coming in. Mark, in the next couple of weeks, it's important that you see things for how they are and that you pay attention to your own perception of things, okay? Because your own perception of things going on in your own life, your own mind, your own spirit, your own heart, and your own energy, that's what matters. It's not anything to do, particularly and especially in the next couple of weeks, nothing to do with how someone else sees your situation or a situation or you're about to enter into or an opportunity you're about to take. It's like the only thing that matters is how you feel about what's going on and what you're planning on doing about it. Even if what you're planning on doing about something is nothing and just kind of going with it. There's an opportunity for you to, in the next couple of weeks, I would say the next 2 weeks to a month, where everyone around you is more than likely going to say you're biting off more than you can chew, or it's too risky. You should not, the odds are not in your favor. It doesn't matter, because I feel like deep down inside, you want to take a chance. You want to risk whatever for whatever this is. If you don't, and you go by other people's perceptions and how they think and feel about whatever this is, you're going to miss out on a great opportunity that's never going to circle back around again. Don't listen to the naysayers, even if you really do genuinely feel that they have your best interests at heart. They very well could. I don't think this one person does, but they very well could. That doesn't make them right. You know what's good for you. You know what you should be doing, what excites you. Go for whatever this is. Go for it. Take the risk. It will be well worth it. Who's next?
Well, Nutslap is off playing Fortnite. So
we got him addicted.
Bat Mom, I think, hasn't gotten home yet. So I'm going to put her on hold until she pops back in. So go ahead and do Smoochie.
You guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the love. I really do.
She is the real thing, that's for sure.
All right, Miss Smoochie Girl. I'm using mythical creatures for you too. Nutslap, you're next. This is Smoochie Girl. You got the Jackalope. So I had this really insane dream the other night where it was like told me where, it's going to sound crazy, told me in the end of times, like where the devil is supposed to, or whoever you think it's going to be, is going to like spring up from the ground and start the rule. It was crazy. Oh, what's up, girl? I was like, what's going on? I can timestamp you if you want me to. All right, Miss Smoochie. The Jackalope is a lively and comical figure. He's a joker, whether he provides entertainment as a stand-up comic, interjects with improvised puns, or executes pranks and practical jokes. Sounds like you, Smoochie Girl. His sense of humor is what distinguishes him. He's playful and mischievous and able to make others laugh right along with him. He's guaranteed to add a spirited presence to any gathering. If one is looking to have a good time with friends, the Jackalope can turn even a small group into a party. Smoochie, don't do that. I don't need YouTube coming up my butt. Morally speaking, the archetype of the Jackalope is ambiguous. The symbolism provides no specification of whether his jokes are harmless or mean-spirited, tasteful or offensive. He may be a well-intentioned person or an obnoxious jerk or something in between. The mythical creature's reported to have a troublesome side, if not a mean streak. In the Old West, it was rumored to sneak up and poke people in the rear end with its horns. Thus, people in the jackalope's presence may find themselves to be the butt of a joke. This creature serves first and foremost to amuse himself. Other people provide incentive, but the jokes are usually at their expense. No problem, honey. I'm glad you're back on the road. If well-intentioned, this person who embodies the jackalope is probably seen as immature at best. He may have many friends, but not everyone will be a fan all of the time. In general, the jackalope signifies a lack of seriousness. It can be a person, an attitude, or the way one spends his day. It may reflect an opinion that one holds about something, seeing something as laughable and dismissible. The jackalope is the embodiment of silliness and whimsy, which often manifests through absurdity and irony. As an example of this irony, the jackalope's laughter may be no laughing matter. There's a time and a place for fun and games, but such things are not always constructive. The jackalope may be a person who is goofing off instead of applying the appropriate amount of effort or professionalism. His lack of seriousness can be most unwelcome in some situations, and the archetype's presence can cause real problems. Ron, hold that thought, and when I'm done with this, I'll answer you. The jackalope also signifies something unlikely or implausible, an idea that is in itself not to be taken seriously. It's a ridiculous creature, the stuff of tall tales and drunkards' delusions. Beware of this message brought by the jackalope, because it could also be a lie. Otherwise, it might be twisted or exaggerated version of the truth. It may stand for one big misunderstanding, something that has sent people running off foolishly in the wrong direction. Whenever this happens, the jackalope is laughing. Definitely not taking something seriously, or Smoochie, knowing how serious something is, but pretending that it's not that serious at all because either you don't want to deal with it or don't know how to deal with it. This card in the next couple of weeks is telling you in the next couple of weeks, you're going to have to face what and or whoever this is. I'll just say what to keep things simple. Whatever this is that you've been kind of not really focusing on, it's not that you're not focusing on it if it's like a person, but it's like you're not thinking of like what's actually going on. You're just trying to go about your day as though it's not happening or it's not as bad as, it actually is, trying to kind of make yourself feel better just so you can get through and deal. And I'm definitely not judging or indicting you on that one. But in the next couple of weeks, I feel like things are going to take a turn for the worse, where if you don't turn around and face whatever this is that's going on, you're going to end up living in a lot of regret in the next few years. I don't know what this is. The universe is literally screaming, like, wake up, pay attention, focus on this. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. It's going to be painful. Almost nobody's going to understand. But it is one of your main lessons you have to learn is how to get through something like this, survive through it, and move on. What's up, Nighthawk? You can no longer avoid the inevitable, and you can no longer ignore how serious this is. Don't know what it is. I have an idea, but obviously I can't say for sure. So Ron wanted to know, is there a difference between oracle reading and remote viewing psychics? I see a lot of remote viewing channels. Are they genuine people? I don't know. I know that remote viewing does exist. I can do it if I choose to. I know one kind of well-known YouTuber who claims to be a remote viewer. And she is definitely not. It's not in her energy. I knew it from the day I met her. And it pisses me off how quickly she got popular by lying and tricking people. Well, I'm here like doing things honestly, but I won't get into that. Remote viewing is, I would have to take some time to go into trance, and that's me putting my spirit somewhere else. So if I wanted to remote view you would, this is my process, you would send me maybe a photo of your house and of each room and tell me where you live. And I would go into trance and focus on that particular place on a map in my head, and then bring my focus even smaller to the house, then even smaller to the room, and my spirit will go there so I can see and hear everything going on, but you will have no idea I'm there. A lot of people do sense remote viewers in this community because we're sensitives and we know when something's going on, but it's very, very different. This is me. Spirit shows me images kind of like on a projector screen, or they talk to me, they yell things to me, they whisper things. but I'm here. And that's why I can't ever get like so totally specific, because they're just giving me generals of what you guys are dealing with, what the person I'm reading for is dealing with, what's about to happen in the next couple of weeks. Remote viewing is very different because I'm putting my spirit. So I'm physically putting myself wherever it is I need to be. And I will hear everything, see everything. You know how in near-death experiences, a lot of people say that they get out of their body and they view themselves from like up here, they can see everything, or they're out of their body and they're watching everything and listening everything. That is what remote viewing is, only it's not a near-death experience at that point. It's a purposeful trance that a lot of people do. Some people do it accidentally. They just end up places. That's scary. You can be hurt remote viewing very easily if you go somewhere you're not supposed to be, whether you're spiritually not supposed to be there or like physically. So if you try to remote view like, you know, Area 51 or some other military base, they have remote viewers working for them as a part of security. A lot of people don't know this, and most wouldn't believe it anyway. But if you try to remote view like a military base, you're going to run into their military remote viewers who could technically kill you. So remote viewing is no joke. I stopped doing it a long time ago. You're placing your consciousness at a location. Yes, thank you. You know I'm long-winded. Yeah. I almost said something and I'm like, I'm not going to stoop so low as to make fun of someone's appearance. The attacks on TikTok have got me very catty. Yeah, it does take years. For most people. I mean, some people are born with that ability. Not most people, though. It does take a long time, and it's very, very dangerous. I hate doing it.
Nut slap, what you said. I was just saying if you'd remember. I was giving you time to remember.
Absolutely not. Nut slap, I'm going to use the vampire. I know my niece wanted to come in tonight. I hope she sees this. Yeah, I'm trying, you know, because honestly, I don't want people, I hate when people do it to me. When they talk about me publicly, it's happened so many times where I'm just living my life. And then like 8 months later, I find out there's been this whole smear campaign against me in the community behind my back. Death right. Saying goodbye, formal occasions, and honoring lives. Card number 11. For many beings, the reality of death seems to be the ultimate cruelty, the vampire that steals the life from so many. And without, it seems, any order or reality. For death it is true visits us all, whether we are young or old or healthy or suffering. But for all of us, beast and beauty, there's a time for the end to come. But there are angels of death appointed by the universe to help us move from one side to the next and to avoid staying in between without moving on, transforming. For the soul who dies well who has a good death, there is a transformation through the realms that divide the living from the dead. For this to take place, the angel of death does not only come to assist the soul, but they assist with the ones left behind. And what comforts those who remain on the earth are rites, ways to say goodbye, honorings and reverence, and memories and mirth. It may be time for you, Nutslap, to consider those who have gone from you or who may go, and know how you would honor them and remember them and send them on their way. What rites will you prepare once to help carry the soul into the arms of the angel of death? Consider what will comfort you when you're on your way too. Know that it's not morbid to contemplate the ending of this mortal time for you. What's up, Nomio? Wills and legal documents may be about to enter your life when this card comes to you. Consider, too, the legacy you will leave when you've departed. Consider children and their children. Consider the well-being of animals and plants, your library, your keepsakes, and your little treasures. Begin the journey of safeguarding these now. They won't matter to you beyond this life, it's true, not as they do now, not in the same way. As you enter your next lifetime, they may not even be recalled at all, but those who you may leave them will know them and keep you through them. Let yourself live on and know who will keep your memory bright as a candle, and you will look from time to time and be glad and be able to send messages of comfort. Honoring the ones we have loved and whom have left can be a beautiful way to come to terms with their absence and a way to help their soul make the transition to their new life beyond the veil, evidence of life beyond death. Feeling that death is final and losing hope in the purpose of life, being trapped by grief. It's time to work with any fear you may have around death and dying and transform this through preparation, contemplation of your legacy, and considering the interactions you have had with the deceased loved ones. So I'm getting two messages here, Nutslap, and the first one is not about actual death. It's about change. I know you may not think this, but you are your own worst enemy right now when it comes to things changing for you in certain areas of your life for the better. Okay? So you may feel that you've done everything, and I'm just using this as an example, to find a different job. Because let's say in this example, you hate your job and you just like want to do something more, and you know you can, but you've tried everything. The universe is like, no, you actually haven't. You know there are some things that you haven't tried because it would have been too hard. You think it would cost too much money, it would be too much effort, take too much time. Like it's almost though I'm seeing you're making like excuses for why you can't do everything you possibly can to change a part of your situation that you're wanting to change. There is a major, major change coming in for you. I would say by the time Halloween rolls around, something in your life will have significantly changed for the better, but you could help it along and help it move so much faster and quicker if you would stop being fearful of, if it's for love, like being fearful of being rejected. And I'm not saying you are, I'm just throwing examples out. If it's for your job, like being fearful of maybe having to take a pay cut for a little while. If it's about moving out on your own, being fearful of how am I going to keep up with the bills? Like there is some sort of fear that's ingrained in you that's holding you back, that if you really look deep down inside, you will see you're being your own worst enemy. Thank you for that, Bat Mom. It's not the universe working against you, and it's not the universe saying no. The universe isn't even saying wait. The universe is saying this is coming for you, and the quicker you prepare for it, the better. So whatever it is that your heart desires the most, whether you'll admit it out loud or not, love, a new job, your own place, if you don't already live by yourself, I'm like not putting people's personal business out there. Whatever it is that you really wish to gain or achieve next, it's coming. But if you're not prepared for it because you think it's impossible, or you think it's not worth the effort, or you think it's going to be too hard, or you think there's no way to gain it, you're not going to be prepared. It could end up hitting you like a ton of bricks, and you could end up losing it very quickly when it's something that was meant to invigorate and enrich your life. You're being your own worst enemy. That is true, Bat Mom. Thank you. If everyone donated $3 or more to Gemma's Cash App, it would add up. I do appreciate that. I don't want anyone to ever feel pressured, but I do have to bring the money thing up from time to time. Batman, you made me nervous. Bat Mom and I were discussing it the other day. I do appreciate you guys very much. I saw Aunt Edna come in. I love you guys so much. And I want to say again, for those of you that weren't here in the beginning, the video I posted yesterday, the YouTube short, some of you may not have seen it. I did talk about how I get more support on TikTok, but I specifically said very quickly, and I think a lot of you may have missed it, or maybe I didn't say it the right way, from new people. I was not talking about you guys. And some people who are very supportive of me got a little bit offended. They're like, what do you mean? Like, I always support you. And I was like, no. I meant people like on TikTok. Nobody over there knows me unless they're from here. And not many people from here are over there. And they're very supportive. Over here, out of 10 people that are new, that have never seen anything I've done ever before, just come across my shorts, 9 times out of 10, they will say something cruel, mean, or nasty to me. That's what I was talking about. All right, Bat Mom.
Then after Bat Mom, you Edna. Then we're back to the list again.
Let's do Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. The Blue Crossroads deck. You guys are. I was watching something today where the girl was, she was redoing like a scene from the movie The Craft, and someone in the comments was like, yeah, and us millennials used to always yell, "We are the weirdos, mister." I'm like, I'm 42, and that's the motto of my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's true, or so that is true. You're never too old to get a blister in on your rear. I don't know why. I spent an entire month. I tried to contact YouTube. They do not care at all about people who aren't making them millions of dollars. They do not care. I begged them for a solution. I've Googled solutions. I've tried from my computer. I've tried from my gaming consoles. I've tried from my phone. I've tried everything to figure out why there's a handful of people who really are here every week, there for every video, who cannot comment on my stuff. It's very frustrating. Batmom, you got card number 4. It's deep. It is the card of treasure. It is the dragon. No, not unless you're making them millions. You know, SS Sniper Wolf goes to someone's house, doxes them, and they like find her and shut down her channel for 30 days. One of her 12 channels. She continues to make like millions of dollars a month. She exposed where this guy lived to like 100,000 people on her live stream. And when he reported her to YouTube, it took them like 2 years. And then finally they said, oh, what she did was wrong, and suspended one channel for a month. Yeah. With me, you can't even accidentally let a curse word slip out or they'll demonetize everything. They do. I know for sure. Or at least a very good talking to. Also, a lot of the content that I put on TikTok, not a lot of it, but I would say, 10 out of 30 videos, so less than half, but still a good amount, I can't repost to YouTube because they copyright strike me. And sometimes even when I find the audio, I have to it takes me so long to perfectly overlay it so it lines up with my mouth already moving. They'll still sometimes say it's a copyright. Even when it comes from sites that are copyright protected, like CapCut, YouTube will demonetize me and copyright strike me. So a lot of the stuff that I put out, if you're only on YouTube and you're only watching shorts, you're not going to see it. Okay, dragon. Know what you treasure. Change is natural. Holding on to what is impossible long term. Protect what's important to you, set proper boundaries, and trouble may avoid you. Be strategic, think ahead, be brave. You can actually triumph if you try. Perhaps one of the most well-known creatures of the darkness across many world cultures is the dragon. From ancient Sumeria, Japan, China, Korea, right across to Egypt, in the Middle East, across Europe, through the Bible, and even Sufi poetry, all have dragon lore. While they may be described differently depending on where you're from, dragons almost always have a serpentine form, are large-tailed, scaly, and often live hidden in places like caves, deep pools, or inside mountains. Chinese dragons are beautiful and are considered aligned with the element of rain and bringers of good fortune. The European dragon is most often winged, can breathe fire or spit venom, and has often been the target of heroes who kill them in order to win a prize, overcome something, complete a given task, or recover or steal the dragon's hoard of treasure. It's this aspect of their mythos that is intriguing. Dragons can be seen as both gatekeepers, and protectors of treasure, what is valued at the same time. Sometimes the dragon collects the shimmering gold and jewels for themselves simply because it's beautiful to them, and sometimes the treasure is being guarded for a purpose, whether that be good or bad. Yet the dragon must be overcome for the hero to be rewarded with some of that treasure. In the Norse sagas, there's a wonderful story of the hero who makes his money by working out various ways to sneak past sleeping dragons. In the English saga Beowulf, a slave steals a single cup from a dragon's hoard, and the dragon knows of it and begins to raze the city around it. Beowulf takes 12 warriors with him to slay the dragon, but when they see it, all but one of those warriors runs. Beowulf battles the dragon, but his sword shatters and he's mortally injured. Both he and the dragon are dying. He tells the one warrior who stayed with that I can't even read tonight. He tells the one warrior that stayed that he must bury the majority of the dragon's treasure lest the cowardly soldiers come back to claim it, and he and the dragon die both without the treasure. Both terrible and beautiful dragon magic is still strong today. So many films and games still mention dragons, and the motif appears on flags for sports teams and in popular culture everywhere. More likely now than ever, dragons are increasingly seen as benevolent, intelligent, and often wronged by humans. Your plant companion, Batmom, is the orchid, and your crystal companion is either emerald or more typically gold. I love emerald. It's my favorite. So I feel like there's something going on with you. Thank you, Nighthawk. I do appreciate it. There's something going on with you, Batmom, that I feel like there's something you're very secretive about and or protective of in your life that you know very well needs to be given up. What I see here is not that someone's trying to take something from you, but they're trying to, I feel like somebody's trying to expose you about something. And to you, whatever this is may not be a big deal. It may be something that you're used to, and you may have a difference of opinion than a lot of people about whatever this is. And it's like, you're fine going about your life. You're struggling a little bit, but you're like, this is my life right now. I'll do what I can. But you're like, I don't want to use the word content, but I do feel like in a way, this has just become the norm for you, and you're doing the best you can with the situation and with whatever this is. You're protective of it. You're secretive about it. You're living your life. You're still taking care of your responsibilities. Like, you have all of these ways to justify whatever this is. And that's fine, because we're not even here to talk about that. This is about someone just for the sheer sake of hurting you, wanting to and trying to expose whatever this is. The universe is saying, like, she's got to clean up the side of her street because somebody else is going to come and expose the garbage on that side. They're looking to take something from you spiritually. I don't think they know that's what they're doing. Okay. I don't think they're like understanding that they're launching a spiritual attack on you, but that's exactly what they're doing. If this, whatever this is, gets exposed to certain people, it's going to be very, very hard for you to come back from it. You could maybe lose your job. You could lose, I know you don't have small children, but this is something where like you could lose custody of your kids. You could be kicked out of your house. This is like someone messing with your life for poops and giggles, right? I had someone called CPS on me one time because I sent their grandkids birthday cake from my son's birthday party, but I didn't invite their grandkids to the birthday party because it wasn't at my house. It was at a friend's house. It was during the pandemic, so I wasn't allowed to invite anyone else. But because I didn't invite those kids, I was just nice enough to send them cake. I was throwing it in the person's, I don't know what this person was thinking, but this person was looking at it as, I'll hurt her, I'll get her. And really CPS was like, this is weird, right? Like, why are we here? But it could have, had I been hiding something or doing something that society considered, had I been still using, say, I could have lost my son and my family and everything over some birthday cake. That's this. Okay? I want you to understand that if you don't do whatever this, if you don't at least start getting a handle on whatever this is, or at the very least convincing people that it isn't what it is, this demonic spirits person is going to do everything they can so that you lose everything. They're looking just to see you hurt, but what's going to happen is you're going to be almost destroyed. You're better than this, you're stronger than this, and you certainly don't deserve this. They're using like the majority against you, right? Most people might think this is weird or not good for you, but it's none of their business. But this person is bound, like determined to make it everyone's business. I don't like this person. Oh, and yeah, this person's a sociopath. Throughout my life, they've been just like, cuckoo crazy, you know. But I don't know, like sometimes I think this person really didn't realize the severity of what they were doing. I really don't know. I try not to think about it. I've since made amends with the person, so I don't want to speak badly about them in case they're listening, but it was crazy. And it could have went a lot different for me had I not had my stuff together at that time. Luckily I did. Could have lost everything. And then I would have lost my life, because I specifically told that person that without RJ, I would take my own life. This was years ago. Nighthawk, you are so sweet. Thank you. Who's next?
Nut slap. I'm at Edna. I'm sorry.
That's good, Bat Mom. And I love that you're thinking ahead of it. You're not just focusing on the issue at hand. You understand that there's so much more to it, and you're focusing on all aspects of it. And, you know, that's amazing. And I definitely agree. I agree. I definitely have changed a lot since then. That's for sure. I've learned a lot about boundaries and my spiritual mission and purpose, and who's part of my soul family and who isn't. You know, most people that are in our blood family are not our soul family. They're just not. They were just meant to be in our lives in this life. And should we choose to create a bond with them, or a spiritual tie, I would say, with them, then in the next life, when we each plan our lives, we can bring them in. But for the most part, you know, the other side, it's not cliquey, like nobody's mean to anybody, but you are with your soul family. If you see someone that you knew on earth pass you by, you say like, hey, what's up? But I wouldn't call it like, there's not friends. Everyone's friendly, everyone's loving and kind, but it's very short and to the point. We have so much work to do over there. We really don't associate outside of our soul family, the people that we're living life after life with. Yeah, and then that's what I do now. And Batmom, that's true too. But it's very hard as a human being to come to terms with those things sometimes. And it's like the minute we come to terms with one thing and start working on that, the next thing pops up. You know, once we're aware, there's no going back. And then it's like every little thing we're wondering, you know, is this the core of the issue? And I'm using your favorite deck, Angels and Ancestors. Like I said, I'm meeting Arisha in Princeton on Sunday. I'm super excited. We're going to get some lunch or maybe just some coffee. Her and Lotus's birthday is the 6th. Nuts Up, I'm not sure. I didn't get the first week of August shorts done, but I also need to shower. So I don't know, but I will text you and let you know. It really depends what time Ray's bringing RJ home. I would like to. It's been a few weeks since we played. And you got the Lord. Just trying to find him. There we go. Take charge with authority. Yes. Princeton's where the school's at. Don't be afraid to take charge or to use your voice, and make sure you be strong. The Lord is the consort of the lady, the emperor in the traditional tarot. He represents an authoritative male who isn't afraid to lay down the law, but this doesn't mean he's angry or chauvinistic. He's self-possessed, reliable, and ambitious, a man of honor who has earned his place in society. The Lord in this oracle holds a ram staff and wears a crown of antlers, showing he keeps himself firmly rooted in the ground and is protective of his people. His regal air indicates he has a taste for the finer things in life, yet he's sensitive to those who are less fortunate than he is. It sounds just like you, but in male form, Anna. Thank you, Batmom. Sometimes you have to take control in order to be honored. If you feel that your kindness or gifts are being taken for granted, Edna, it's time to change that. There's no excuse for bad behavior. Wow. And the ancestors are encouraging you to hold your ground and speak your mind in a fiercely loving way. You have the energy and might to overcome dramas or energies that aren't working for your growth. And it's time to take charge before you find yourself in a situation you don't want to be in. You're being encouraged to be the boss instead of being bossed. This card also brings the energy of ambition and can show you have the and can show that you have the potential to move upwards on a professional level, but only if you act with authority and show who you really are. So I don't see this really as you trying to move up professionally, but what I'm definitely seeing here is there's a situation that's going on right now, Aunt Edna, and it might be coming in the next week or two, where you immediately, you're immediately going to know that someone's full of poop. The situation isn't as it seems, but I feel as though you don't mind speaking up for people and standing up for yourself, because it's only an intuitive hit and there's nothing concrete. Everyone else loves this person, or everyone else is on board with the idea. You might be reluctant, or you might feel reluctant. Good night, Mark. You might be reluctant to say something, right? Because there's no tangible evidence, and you could end up looking like a bully towards this person, or like you're just being mean, or you're just being negative, or whatever the case may be. The universe is saying, don't let that deter you. If you sense anything wrong, that anyone is, being deceptive, or trying to manipulate or take advantage of you or people you know or love, even just random, whatever is going on, you are going to be able to sense that this person is all wrong. And it is something connected to you. I don't think it's anything aimed at you, but it's, for example, like your grandkid is getting involved in some volunteer organization, and you meet the person running the organization, and you're like, oh, no, this is a scam. And you just immediately know it. But you don't want to say that, right? Because this is like a respected person. Your grandchild believed. It doesn't matter. This is the universe telling you, you don't need to directly confront that person to their face, but you do need to pull your grandchild aside and whoever you can that's going to listen to you, and tell them what you feel is going on. It doesn't mean they're not going to move forward with their plan to work with this person or be involved with them, but then at least you know that you tried and you put it out there. And that's also going to show the universe that you're working with your intuition. Like, absolutely. And you're not afraid to speak up, even on a small scale, when you know for a fact something is wrong. You're going to be proven right about this in the long run. I don't know when in the long run. We'll keep reading week by week and we'll see. But in the long run, whoever this is about is going to turn and say, oh my gosh, Edna warned me about this. And that's going to be, I think, some satisfaction. You're also going to have to be there to pick up the pieces, more than likely. Yes, definitely. And I mean to a level and degree that maybe you never have before or haven't in a while. It's going to hit you very hard. But I think that's just because it's so important in the way that what and or whoever this is going to affect someone you really care about. You are absolutely right about what and or whoever this is. Who's next? I know you said it, but I'm not going to remember.
That's all right, because you're good. Uso's next. They're still here. Mike Roberts.
Urso's here. Mikey. There's my buddy. He messages me. He's like, how's my bestest friend doing? And I'm like, good. But I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this person's like my bestest friend, but I don't know whose number it is. I'm like, this is embarrassing. And he's like, no, it's a new number. I was so afraid to be like, I don't know this number. It's good having you back, Mike. And trust me, nobody holds it against you that you haven't been here in a while. We've all taken breaks, myself included. Life happens. Or so we're using Halloweeny. I got you, Aunt Edna. Susan and such. Could be that too. Trick or treat. Mischief and play. What's up, Netter? Go have fun with your parents. We'll see you next week. Stalking and stomping, eyes shining and begging baskets, faces and bodies that are no longer ours, laughing skeletons, and candy caskets. Trick-or-treating is such a fun thing to do, isn't it? Yet, why do we trick-or-treat? Ancient people understood that there were both mischievous and perhaps nasty spirits wandering around at nightfall at Halloween, as well as happier, more benevolent spirits. They thought that if they dressed as spirits themselves or other frightening creatures, then they would not be recognized as human and attacked. The idea of causing a little chaos as one of these quote-unquote spirits was part of the imitation and the enjoyment of the night. The practice in medieval Britain was aptly called souling. I wish we still called it souling. Today, trick-or-treating is a huge event. We spend much time, money, and effort dressing up as our scariest creatures, and this has even extended to dressing up as our favorite celebrities and other pop culture idols. Instead of traditional candy apples and barnbrock, we give out a mind-boggling variety of candy. It matters not. The idea of frightening away death and darkness still stands. I believe that the modern trick-or-treating also unites communities by introducing our families and friends to those around us in a non-threatening and joyful way. Many of us do not know our neighbors, even those who live next door, and Halloween gives us an excuse not to be so reserved and to extend our boundaries. Should you receive the trick-or-treat card in your divination, it may well be time to examine the role of play and mischief in your life. Urso, you don't have to be a child to let go and have playtime, and you can extend the fun to others. Sometimes we're afraid to make mistakes, and play is one way to alleviate the pressure that we sometimes place on ourselves to get everything perfect every time. Batmom, for some reason, I'm moved to tell you to listen to this as well. Alternatively, it's worth knowing that there's a balance between manipulation and mischief. Mischief. The former isn't pleasant, and the other has, at its core, a sense of irreverent fun. So basically, Urso, this is saying like, it's good to be serious about life, and it's good to take certain things seriously, you know, taking care of your family. You have very, very special abilities. You're also very sensitive. So I feel like it could be harder for you than most people. Not a lot of people in here, because we all have some reason for this, to like get out into the community and do things that we enjoy with other people that we don't know well, right? That's what I'm seeing you being encouraged to do. So take this as it resonates in the next month or two. So this is showing me further than the usual 1 to 2 weeks that I normally see. It's pushing me further than that. I feel like there's going to be an opportunity to get involved in something. However, I feel a fear in there, and I understand this feeling very well, that you may not be accepted. You guys know the moms I was talking about, that they befriended me and they were so great, and I was spending all this time with them, and RJ was spending time with their kids, and I was like, wow, like I finally feel accepted by normal people. Yeah, they've all stopped talking to me. I see them all getting together. There's pictures of them and the kids all over social media. They've all stopped talking to me. I don't know if it's just like they were always calling me, and I never once reached out to them. But the reason for that, I told them, is because I don't drive. So if I invite them somewhere, I feel like that automatically comes with like, you also have to pick me up and drive me, and it makes me uncomfortable. So I explained that. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I did anything or I'm just overthinking it, but like, I understand that feeling. However, in the next couple of months, if you get the opportunity to become a part of something in your community or to help a neighbor with something, even if it isn't something you would normally do, the universe is encouraging you to do this, because I feel like there's a connection you're going to make that's going to, in the long run, help you, like in something you're dealing with. So this would be like, you offer to help your neighbor build his deck. I don't know. And then you go and help him, and then he introduces you to his brother who's a lawyer while you're there. And then 6 months down the line, you, for whatever reason, need a lawyer. And he's like, hey, remember that time you helped me with the deck? Call my brother. It's that kind of thing that I'm seeing. But it's more about in the here and now, in the next month or so, getting out there, putting yourself out there, presenting yourself, and understanding that you deserve to meet new people and make new friends, have a good time, and get to know people who may not seem like they're like-minded, but who totally end up being. And if for nothing else, you need whatever this third-party connection is by the end of the year. Yeah, Mike, it's so weird. It's happening with my family as well. I've spoken to the people in my family about it, though. My friends, again, I don't know if I'm just being kind of like paranoid. They all do work. One of them's basically a doctor. They all have jobs. They all have kids. So I'm like, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. But I know last summer I had so many outings. And even like with the 4th of July, it was like we had nothing to do. And they're on social media celebrating with all the kids and fireworks. And like, we weren't even invited. So I don't know if it's a purposeful thing or I did something, but I am going to find out, because the next time one of them contacts me, I am going to politely ask them if I maybe said something that offended them or maybe weirded them out. I mean, that's very possible. I don't know.
You ready?
Oh, nice, Urso. Yeah.
Life with Bobby, are you still here, hon? And then after her is Andrew, if he's still here. Or Andrew, you still here too?
Nomeo.
And Life with Bobby.
We got to timestamp your daughter.
Yes, I got it written down.
Okay, you saw her?
Yes, I was happy she came home. I got word earlier that she was home with mom. Now she's going to the mother-in-law's.
All right, good. Life with Bobby, I'm using Celebrity Spirit. And that is very true. Nomeo, let us know you're still here, hon. Did Roger leave as well?
Yes, he
usually does. I just
he comes and goes. Yeah. Sometimes he comes back, so I always put him on hold.
Life with Bobby, you got David Bowie. Time to play and explore. His archetype was explorer and outlaw, also thrill seeker, rebel, and chameleon. David Jones, aka David Bowie, was born on the 8th of January, 1947 in Brixton, south of London, England, and died on the 10th of January, 2016 of cancer. He was a creative and innovative Capricorn. As a young child, he developed an interest in music and eventually studied art, music, and design before embarking on a successful career as a professional musician. Space Oddity became his first top 5 entry on the UK singles chart. Then he re-emerged as the androgynous alter ego Ziggy Stardust. This won him widespread popularity. Next came another era where he produced Fame and the album Young Americans. Later on, he starred in the cult film The Man Who Fell to Earth. David Bowie was highly regarded in his field and was an articulate and creative artist, singer, songwriter, and actor, always reinventing himself. The message: the truth is that there is no journey. We're all arriving and departing at the same time. When David Bowie came through in the seance group, he was very amused and curious and kept asking what it was all about. He wanted to know why we were sitting in the dark, which he thought was hysterically funny for some reason, so we told him we're in a seance. Cappy in the house. After he thanked us for letting him talk and said he didn't mind the music we were playing as it was from the 70s and 80s, we all had the feeling he was a bit of a shapeshifter and an incredibly curious soul, always searching. I look forward to having more conversations with David if he comes again in the future, as he was one of my all-time favorites. The meaning: when you draw out this card, Bobby, it is reminding you that it's time to shimmy, sparkle, and shine. It's time to be the star of your own show. No matter the odds and what others around you think, you are aligned at the highest levels of integration of power and mastery for your own divine purpose. Yes, Blue, there you are. Whatever that may be, it's now time to shine your inner divinity and star force energy and power brightly for all of the world to see. You're a powerful, determined, bright spark of co-creation, brilliance, and a star within your own right. Enjoy the accolades. Life with Bobby, I don't know what this is, but again, we're talking about opportunity, okay? This is you putting yourself out there, taking a chance, going out on a limb, taking this radical, crazy leap of faith that you 10 years ago or even a year ago never would have imagined taking. I do feel like this is something not so much for like any kind of financial benefit or really for anything other than you think it'll be fun. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is resonating yet with you. I'm seeing 2 to 4 weeks where it's like this opportunity is going to come in, and it's I just, this is what they're saying in my ear. Okay, it's like, oh, come on, and you're like, no, okay, I'll do it. Right? It's like you're getting to maybe live vicariously through somebody. The whole point of it is you putting yourself out there, like I said to Urso, meeting new people, volunteering possibly, and not being self-conscious or so self-conscious about it, right? Really understanding that you are where you belong at any given time, as long as you put yourself there. You can't say no to every single invitation. You can't be too afraid to try anything new, because you'll never get anywhere and you'll never learn anything. Put yourself out there. Volunteer for things that you feel you'd be good at or that you want to learn more about. I just feel this intense, I have social anxiety too. I think a lot of us struggle with that. I feel this intense desire, but it's not yours. It's your spirits more. It's more so your spirits to like get out there and commingle and meet new people and listen to new people's stories. And Life with Bobby, this could very well revolve around that, where it's like you become a part of this group or a part of this team or whatever, and they're really accepting you, and you may not be able to comprehend that. I know for me, like I said with the moms, it was like, I don't know why they want to be friends with me. Like, I'm weird, right? I see things and I hear things and I'm weird, but they didn't see that, right? And I ended up having so much fun and making great friends and having good times. And I feel that with you. It's like, if you just put yourself out there and take a little chance or risk, again, I don't see it being detrimental one way or the other. This is like, you know, you decide that for once or for the first time in a long time, you're going to get out there and have some fun simply because you can. Simply because the offer is out there, and taking that opportunity and seeing what comes of it and who comes in because of it. And I think that's going to be the main thing here. Did Nomeo answer?
He may be driving too and listening. So I'll leave that up to you, and I can still write his time down if you want me to.
Okay, who's next?
Okay. Well, Mike Roberts. And then that's it.
Well, I'm gonna timestamp Nomeo. That's why.
Well, say other than timestamps.
Life with Bobby, I totally get that too. At my church, I want to sing in the band. It's not a choir, it's a band. But you have to work your way up from setting up and putting up and taking down the chairs and then serving coffee and then all these other things. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to have time for all that. And they're like, yeah, but that's just how it goes. And I'm like, no, I totally get it. You have to serve humbly and you have to serve in the way that you're meant to serve. And that's just kind of how everyone does it. So I haven't embarked on that yet. I'm hoping once I get my license, which I'm hoping to do by the time I turn 43, that, you know, I'll be able to do that. Well, we do have CR program, which I did and completed at my church. I never did NARA, but I did do CR. I still do CR, my devotionals every morning. All right, Mike, let's see. Mike, we're also going to use mythical creatures for you. Then we're going to do Casey, Tennille, Baby Dragon, and Nomeo. Guys, if you can donate to PayPal or Cash App, please do so. I am broke and I really could use the donations. I'm not getting paid anywhere else through anything else, so I definitely would appreciate it if you can. This week, we're going to be talking about the case of Tara Calico. We've covered it years ago, but I wanted to redo it because it's such a fascinating case. You guys aren't going to believe this, what Mike pulled. Sasquatch. In the upright. Something in between human and ape, Sasquatch links people to their primordial origins. He is part of the subconscious, a part of us that desires a simpler life. Sasquatch is the yearning to escape to the great outdoors, to return to the time of cleaner skies and greener vegetations. Living alone in the wilderness, Sasquatch has all the time in the world to meditate and reflect. He doesn't speak, but he observes. He does speak telepathically. He may have disdain for the destructive effects of the industrial world, but he's fully aware of what it is, for the silent one sees the most. Sasquatch brings with him the lesson of watching and listening. There's always something to be said for not saying anything at all. When people are always busy talking to each other on their phones, within their social bubbles, dependent on the internet, they tend to overlook the bigger picture that surrounds them. Sasquatch is not only aware of his surroundings, he is also highly self-aware, and retreating from society is able to look within. That's introspection. Drawing the Sasquatch card can potentially be an indicator that you need to stop and look within yourself, Mike. Are you truly aware of what you're doing or how your behavior affects others, of what you're not doing and what you might be missing? If the staring Sasquatch knows more about you than you do, and he probably does, then there could be a problem that needs your attention. Take some time to figure out what this is. A person who embodies Sasquatch is introspective and introverted, but perhaps misunderstood. He enjoys peace and quiet and plenty of time to hear his own thoughts. He takes pride in being self-reliant and not enslaved by material technology. The Sasquatch person is also a nature lover, perhaps an environmentalist. He doesn't understand the mindset that the natural world is only as important as its monetary value. He is critical of the culture that breeds these norms, and he fears for the future of the earth and humankind. This is definitely you, I get it, coming to an awareness of what's really going on around you. And I do, yes, thank you, Blue. I appreciate that. I do see that even in like the last year or two, you've become very much more self-aware. And not only that, aware of the energy around you, aware of why certain people say the things they say, behave the way they do, and what and or who you might be dealing with in any given situation. The next step to that, though, is acting upon it, right? Really looking deep within yourself and understanding why you maybe make the same mistakes or continue to choose the same things that may not be good for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that right now in this moment or in the next couple of weeks, you have to actually do anything about it. But the universe wants you to acknowledge your awareness that something really needs to change for the better and permanently, instead of all the back and forth. You are not going to achieve anything more spiritually as far as ascension or moving forward on your path if you don't absolutely change this one particular thing. You know what it is. For once and for all. Again, this isn't a just leave or just quit your job type of energy. This is a, okay, you're aware of it. No more just sitting comfortably stuck in it. You absolutely must at least come up with a plan of whatever this is. Also, in the next 2 weeks, do not be very, very careful not to be baited into reactive abuse where you're saying things you don't mean or laying it all on the line to a person who's just going to use everything against you anyway. Keep it to yourself, vent to a friend or someone you trust. Do not let this other person get under your skin because it will come back to bite you. It's very hard to stay quiet when you're a bear and someone's poking you with a stick, but that is exactly what this person is waiting for. They feel that you already know what they are, who they are really deep down. And they know that eventually it's going to come to an end. They're going to lose that control. They're waiting for that so they can expose you. Don't give them any more ammunition, even though it's bogus ammunition because they're liars, manipulators of the truth, and just garbage human beings. It still could negatively affect certain aspects and areas of your life. What's up, Melissa? Yes, you were late. I was going to end, but it's all right. I'll give you a reading before I do timestamps. What's up, Juan? Let's move to Goddess Oracle for Miss Melissa. Yeah, I'm trying to come in and out from 7 to 9 from now on, guys. But you know, I don't like turning people away. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for coming in anyway. Miss Melissa, you got Freya, Radical Acceptance, card number 15 in the upright. Or Freya, I believe a lot of people call her. Melissa, when you see life as a battleground, you lose sight of a more easeful way to be in the world. Can you be in the middle of chaos and allow yourself to center in the quiet hum in the eye of the storm? Let the peace of Freya, the Norse goddess of war, enter your mind. Amid the flurry of battle, she came to collect the fallen and bring them to a place of rest and recuperation. Freya is here to remind you that the acceptance of defeat is not the end. She offers the gift of acceptance, the knowing that there's nothing to resist right now. See your world at face value and look into it with discernment. When you see with greater clarity, not taking this world so personally, you will not have to fight at all. If you take full stock of your conditions, surrendering to what is, you can move to higher ground, begin again, or wait until the drama dies down on its own. You are the strongest, most grounded, and most powerful when you remember this is the strategy the goddess Freya offers you in support. You're very welcome, Mike. Thank you. So, Melissa, what this card is saying is that in the next couple of weeks, and it's almost the same as, it's similar to, I will say, of what I was just talking to Mike about. It's okay. One or two more readings isn't going to harm me. And it's not 9 o'clock yet. where you are very hyper aware even of what is going on, of who's who in your life, what role they play, and, you know, where all of the issues lie. The problem is sitting comfortably in the chaos is going to eventually become impossible. It doesn't matter what your intentions are. It matters what you're doing. Okay. It matters the actions that you're taking. The universe is saying it's very hard to think straight when you have people yelling, just leave. What's wrong with you? You picked them. I get it. It's also hard to think straight when you have someone abusing and belittling and shaming and bullying and possibly physically harming you all the time too. When there's chaos all around you, chaos becomes your spirit. It becomes your energy, and it's what you're used to. However, inevitably, it will lower your vibration, and you will eventually become exactly what you're trying to escape originally. The universe is saying, even if you can't, and we say this a lot to you, I mean, I think the universe just is really trying to recycle this reading for you so you can eventually make this move. The universe always wants better for you, right? And this is no judgment, no shame, okay? I understand it, believe me. This is the universe saying, how much longer until the chaos just becomes who you are? It's already what you're used to, which is one of the main reasons why you can't permanently and for good break free of it right now. But you have to, in the next couple of weeks, be incredibly mindful of what is right and what is wrong, what is normal and what isn't, what is acceptable and what's not, what you're willing to put up with and what you aren't, even if you're not acting on these things, even if you're pretending to believe the narcissist, even if you're pretending that there's nothing wrong when your abuser asks you because you know it's just going to go wherever. Make sure you're aware of it and you're not believing these things you're saying. All right, Julie girl, let's do He Should Stay Gone. I know it's impossible, but one day you will get to the point where it's not. What's up, Julie girl? Let's get Juan and Jules read for, and then that's going to be the end. All right. And then we'll do the timestamps. I hope everything's all right, Jules. Juan, I'm going to use Aether Creatures. Ron, though, it's so hard when you're in their grasp, you know. It could take years. It's just, I wouldn't want it to ever take anyone a lifetime, because that's when we start to fracture and we lose pieces of our soul, and you know, only half of us moves on and the other half is stuck here. I mean, a lot of really bad things can happen if we pass from this realm in that state. Is Juan still here?
I was just trying to figure that out. Juan, you still here, bud?
Yeah, Edna, you're not wrong.
I help as many people as I can as long as I'm walking.
Jules, I'm going to read for you right now. We're going to use Heal Yourself. Guys, don't forget to donate to PayPal or Cash App if you can. It would be nice to leave this week with at least a little bit of money. Ooh, fancy. Jules, you got the card of dreams, card number 3. So beautiful. And the funny part is, I literally think about these things sometimes, and I wish. That, Mom, that's good. That means you're cognizant of it. You're aware of it at the very least. Jules, pay attention to your dreams. They hold lots of significant insights for you at present. Now, I just want to say, before anyone says, I don't remember my dreams. I don't know, Jules, if you do or not, but a lot of people, myself included, don't. I learned recently that that's actually better than remembering your dreams. When you don't remember your dreams, that's because your soul is out there experiencing the other side and speaking to spirit and trying to come up with solutions that your human mind can't comprehend. Okay. So it's almost better that you don't remember. I forgot where I was going with that because I was reading the chat too. So if you're not remembering, or if you are, even if you're not, your spirits and your energy and your subconscious and superconscious mind will retain the information, and it'll come back to you when you need it. And you'll be like, whoa, where did that come from? If you even notice at all that you just came out with some stuff, you have no idea where you got it from. Your dreams may provide you with important details about your current health issues or a creative idea you need to action to make your desires manifest. Wait a minute. It says your dreams may provide you with important details about your current health issues or a creative idea you need to action to make your desires manifest. Dreams can also give you clues about what's challenging you emotionally. Sometimes your loved ones who have passed over or people you have lost touch with connect to you while you sleep and offer valuable messages that can give you peace of mind or the strength to persist through a challenging situation. Take note of both the dark and light aspects of your dreams. In particular, pay attention to any recurring dreams, as they often have significant meaning or wisdom that can help you. I would suggest, as I normally do, keeping an actual journal or notebook next to you, and when you wake up, before you do anything else, like open your eyes and immediately write down the first 5 things that come to your mind. Jules, in the next couple of weeks, I do feel like you're going to be faced with a situation, or with, it could be a situation you're already in, but it gets like 10 times bigger and like maybe more out of control or more serious or more intense, whatever. And it's like, if you can just either subconsciously or consciously run through your dreams, you're going to have the answer there. And you wouldn't know if you're subconsciously doing something, but if you're remembering your dreams, it's going to be very important that you take note of everything going on, the things that stand out to you. Not everything going on, I shouldn't have said that. Everything that really stands and sticks out to you that you remember afterwards. Make note of it, whether it's in your head or writing it down or both, because in the next few weeks, I would say 2 to 4 weeks, in the next month or so, there's a situation that I feel like you think you've got it either figured out or you actually have it under control. That is just like something happens and you have no idea until it's like those dream memories kick in, which is that soul memory too. I see soul memory involved here, where it's like you go through the motions without even thinking about it, and bam, you got the problem solved or the situation figured out, the person helped, the dream achieved, whatever it is. But if you just keep going about your day and you're not even like paying attention to your dreams, or if you have like a bad dream or a nightmare and you just want to do everything you can to forget it, that is going to be detrimental to whatever this situation is that's about to throw you for a loop. Timestamps. Let's start with Tennille. Della waits. That's okay, Melissa. No problem. The Little Red Riding Hood. I was on my way to visit my grandmother when I met this wolf. I didn't realize how dangerous he was, nor how hungry. Thoughtlessly, I spoke to him, and even worse, I showed him the way to Granny's home. He ran to her house, ate her, and took her place in bed. When I arrived, I noticed that something was strange, but I stayed just the same. Some say that in the end, the wolf ate me. Some others say that the hunter saved me. Anyway, this was a lesson to remember. Beware, there is great danger around the corner, Tennille. If you have to go through the woods, don't leave that path. Be very careful about what you do and what you say, and don't trust people easily. Be cautious, be on your guard. A wolf is eager to eat you. So the best thing to do right now is just to keep yourself out of his way and not leave the path that will lead you home safe and sound. I don't feel like the wolf is an actual human being unless it's Pedro and there's something going on with him in the next couple of weeks. Tennille, I feel like this is fate, destiny, someone's chart catching up with them. And I feel like it's going to come completely out of the blue unless you listen to what I have to say to you right now. I do think this is about something you're already aware of. It could possibly be something we already talked about with like Porky's health or something going on there, something with you. There is something we have discussed already because they're showing me in a conversation. So it's something we're aware of. We've discussed, we've spoken about, but it's like there are so many other things going on that are seemingly unconnected. that you're not putting two and two together. The universe wants you to pay attention to what's going on around you and the things that are popping up in your life that are surprising you in a negative way, like your husband being very sick and the doctor's not really knowing what it is. It's like, just keep being mindful of all of the little things, the seemingly unrelated things, because in the next couple of weeks, you're going to get some news that if you're not paying close attention now until then, is going to be shocking, devastating, and detrimental. And I will give you more on a personal on that. I don't see anyone dying, but I just see it being like, this is life altering in some way. I just keep hearing things will never be the same after this. So the more you're aware of and putting these little signs and symbols and messages together, the more cognizant you'll be that this is coming eventually. So when it comes, you'll be more prepared and it won't be as devastating. I've been having I don't feel like I'm high strung. I did just chug a Red Bull. I've been having a really hard time on social media. So it's been a rough couple of days with being bullied, the cruel, nasty comments, the threats, the ugliness. I didn't even really want to do this stream tonight just because I didn't feel like being on social media just to like put myself out there for people to abuse me in the comments. But yeah, so I'm not going to be going for very, very long every single week anymore. Just because with the time I have, I could do other things that might be more beneficial for me right now as far as my career, but I do still want to do the stream. So I've got a lot on my mind, to be honest. I'm only working 1 day a week besides tonight. So it's like really hard to get caught up. And all right, Miss Casey, we're using Celebrity Spirit. Nice, no Mio. I'll do Baby Dragon and then I'll do no Mio. This is KC. I love you too. I've been taking care of it by completely ignoring them. The truth really gets to some people, and you know, they come for you on social media because they feel safe in doing so. And it's frustrating for me. I'm someone like, if you talk to me a certain way in my face, we're going to have a problem. But if you talk to me a certain way on social media, there's nothing I can do. But I just use that back against them. Like someone said to me, maybe you should keep your idiot opinions to yourself. And I said, actually, this is America. I'll say what I want, when I want, to who I want, and you'll deal with it because there's nothing else you can do. So like I give them that energy back. But it's just annoying because especially on TikTok and Instagram, I don't do live streams. I don't do pre-recorded like long form video. I just do skits and lip sync to songs and do silly shorts. And every once in a while, I'll talk about like a product. Like there's almost nothing personal. It's just me having fun and being silly. And people still come out of their way to like be hateful and cruel towards me. Yeah, exactly. Keyboard thugging. I just tell them that they have ugly girl problems and don't belong on my page. And I know that's mean, but they're so mean to me that I don't care. Like I want to say things that hurt their feelings. And I'm struggling with that too, because that's not supposed to be my thought process as per my religion, right? So I struggle there. Like I should just turn the other cheek, but I've been turning the other cheek for a week and it's just attack after attack from one post I put out. Just one post talking about bad experience I had at the water park. Which, by the way, I did not mention anyone's race in that video. And I was still called a racist, a white supremacist. Today, I was called a DEI hire by somebody.
That I laughed at.
I work for myself. What are we talking about? All right, Miss KC, you got Martin Luther King Jr. Stand tall. Magician and hero, also crusader, charismatic leader, and visionary. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on the 15th of January, 1929 to a church reverend and was assassinated on the 4th of April, 1968. He was a Capricorn, another Cappy. He was an American Christian minister and activist who became a spokesperson and leader for the civil rights movement. He participated in and led protest marches for Blacks' rights to vote, desegregation, and other basic rights denied to minorities at this time. King's inspiration came from the nonviolent activism of Mahatma Gandhi. He was nominated for and won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. Martin Luther King Jr. is best known for his famous speech, "I Have a Dream," which he gave on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. In his final years, he was opposed to poverty, capitalism, and the Vietnam War. Hundreds of streets have been named in his honor, and he has a memorial named after him. Hundreds of streets. You know the joke. It's like if you can find Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, you know where the drugs are. That's how it is in Patterson. It's like the worst street. Rosa Parks Boulevard. It's all in these like impoverished areas, unfortunately. The message, always follow your calling. When Martin Luther King Jr. came into the seance, his message was how he wished he was still alive to help with the, I'm not going to say this. I'm sorry. King's other message was to always trust your gut, as it's never wrong. He went on to say his mother used to tell him all the time, as he could smell the lies on people a mile away. He also talked about how he was surrounded by corrupt people, even on his team, and how he always knew he would never reach old age with all the stress in his life, as he had too much of God's work to do. It was very obvious to us that he was a tireless worker for people's rights, and he made this his life's work. No matter the odds and the opposition he had to constantly push through. King's message of hope and inspiration came through very strongly to fight for anything we believe in. If you chose this card, you have a passion for helping the underdog and voicing your protest for injustice of any kind, from animal cruelty to environmental issues. Casey, this is very true. You have a lifelong dedication to championing the rights of those who need to be heard. Fight for what's right and get involved, no matter the cost. If you feel strongly about any kind of injustice, take the opportunity to be vocal about it and take action. By speaking up and taking a stand on issues, it shows you are on a mission for a higher purpose. Don't be a bystander. Be the change you want to see. Now, Casey, I don't agree with the actual card in a lot of ways, because I don't feel like you should put everything on the line for activism. For charity, for volunteering, absolutely. But that's not really what this is about anyway. What I'm seeing from your team is just you standing by what you think, what you believe in, how you feel, and not allowing that to be altered by society, right? If you're hanging around 20 people who, maybe you felt the same way as them your whole life, and then you've got some new information, so now you feel a different way, they're all going to turn against you. How much do they really care about you to begin with? And I don't know what this is about. I never get political. I don't know what this is. I know some of your struggles, which I would never say publicly, but it really has nothing to do with any of this. All I'm seeing is people that you felt you were very close to could end up in the next few weeks turning against you once they find out some very small, minute, insignificant piece of information about something you feel or something else going on with you. They are waiting to lie in judgment of you. And it could just be one person as well. The universe is showing me like this person is far disconnected from you. So it's not like anyone in your family or anyone that it would hurt that badly to lose. Let me simplify, Gemma. Don't pretend that you think something or feel something or want something or need something just to fit in with the crowd. You can even silently move away from something, some group, some activity, some charity, some whatever it is, without even saying why. Just, I don't have enough time, or you don't even have to. I feel like it'd be better if you just didn't give a reason, because there is someone waiting in the wings. They're very jealous of you as a human, as a woman. They're jealous of certain things about your life, how you present yourself, how the world perceives you, that they're just waiting for any little reason to be able to attack you. Even if you have a differing opinion, don't change it and don't pretend that you don't, but say as little about it as possible just in the next couple of weeks. And I hope that makes sense. I feel as though if this were private, I could have given you a lot more, but I'm going to just leave it there. Nomeo, I'm using Mythical Goddess. I know, it's so crazy. And then I'll do Baby Dragon, I won't forget. 6 of Seas, the card of pleasure. Sun in Scorpio, the beautiful mermaid basks in her feeling element of water, seated on a rose quartz foundation of love. Nomeo, she embodies pleasure and regeneration, immersed in the pure flow of giving and receiving. She is illuminated by the light of love, passionate and sensual, at one with the pure pleasure of all the elements of life. She's here to reveal the emotional abundance of pleasure that's yours to give and receive when you are oriented to the beauty all around you. She shows you how to open completely to your vital heart energy that connects you to the pleasure of life in each moment. This is about having more enjoyment in your life. And I think this card has come up for you like a couple of times in the last few months. Nomeo, this is just you recognizing the smaller things that make you happy in life. I feel like for the most part, you're content. You spend a lot of time alone, from what I understand. And this is the universe saying, for some reason, I see that kind of coming to an end. I don't know if like someone in your life that you're seeing is going to be more important, or if you're going to have to take a break from work. It's like, in what I'm hearing, honestly, is like, enjoy this time by yourself right now specifically. I feel like you're not paying enough attention to the little things, and you're thinking way too much about the big picture, and possibly overthinking and overanalyzing things that aren't as big as you're making them out to be. I do feel there could be a little boredom in some areas of your life, and that's why you're kind of possibly reaching for maybe meaning where there is none. Or this is the universe saying, take a step back, slow down, take people for who they are, right? Not who you want them to be. Don't date or get involved with the potential, and just try to have fun as much as you can, even in those times where you're alone, right? Enjoy the solitude, enjoy the boredom is what I'm hearing. And yes, I'm running through these very quickly because I do have other things to do, and it's after 9. So I don't mean to rush. Obviously, if you guys have questions, you can ask. And baby dragon, I'm using goddess power. Truck stops. Aphrodite, romantic love. All right, Miss Dragon. Card number 2 in the upright. Baby dragon, the Greek goddess of romantic love, Aphrodite represents a state of ecstatic being that she now invites you to cultivate within. You can experience the world as a sensual, expressive, creative being if you allow yourself the freedom to explore what this means to you. Perhaps this is a portent of new partnering or a deepening of one you already have, or perhaps this is time for you to claim this aspect of your nature, which may have lain dormant for a while. Aphrodite invites you to fall in love with your life now and choose to look for the essence and expression of love all around you. By doing so, love will increase tenfold, and you will see evidence of it everywhere you turn. This is your sacred task when Aphrodite chooses to aid and empower you. Baby dragon, I know that you're... Oh, Aria, I'm really sorry, but I'm ending at 9. If you come back next week between 7 Eastern and 9 Eastern, with one card readings that are donation only or essentially free, I can usually answer a question for you. You don't have to come in and put it in 3 times. When it's your turn, I'll call you, and then you can ask the question, and I'll do my best with one card to answer it. But unfortunately for tonight, I'm just worn out and done. You're welcome back next week, though. I feel like that's just like a little demanding. All right. So anyway, Ashley, I do feel like maybe you're focusing a little bit too much on the negative. And this isn't a judgment or an indictment, because there's a lot of negative things happening. There's a lot of disappointing and possibly even heartbreaking things happening. And there could be loneliness and sadness that's unchecked, because you've got to be all things for all people right now. The universe is asking you to just try your best to focus on the positive, focus on the things and the people that you love. Okay. Focus on the good things to the best of your ability. And if not, the lessons you can possibly learn in the long run from the negative things.
Yeah, I was watching closely too.
Everybody, have a fantastic night. Sorry if my energy was a little bit off. Like I said, I've been having a rough week and struggling a little bit with the financial aspect of the things that I'm doing, and how much time am I spending, how much energy am I using versus how much money am I making. And I'm trying my best to keep this stream free. So if I have to end early sometimes, or if I can't do it, I'm just going to take those opportunities until maybe things go back to how they were, where I never worried about not getting paid for readings. But you guys being here, I really just appreciate it so much. The constant, unending support from my main core people, everyone who always listens afterwards. Leave at least 7 characters in the comments. Be sure to like, share it out, subscribe if you aren't already, though I think everyone in here is. And more than likely, we will see you guys next week. Love you. Be sure to check out YouTube Shorts. If you're on TikTok, check those out too. Social media, Facebook, Instagram. And I'll talk to you guys later. Love you.